Hello everyone, and so today I decided I was going to do a bit of a spontaneous uh, comparison video when it comes to backpacking. You've all seen my screen name, Bushcrafting Bogan, so that gives you a little bit of an idea of what I like to do. So today I was just making coffee and saw these two things sitting up on my stove, so I decided maybe I'll do a comparison video, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not really going to do a full review, but just a comparison of these two cook sets. I just got this one a few weeks ago, and I still have not used it, but that's not going to prevent me from explaining a little bit about it. So what I have the venerable Stanley cook set. Anyone who's been in the Boy Scouts, who Gen Xer or Boomer, all the way up to present day, is very familiar with the Stanley cook set. And anybody who does backpacking will tell you the same thing. This is pretty much almost a standard for anyone. And then what I got this off Amazon. It's called a BeGrit cook set. And like I said, I'll go into more detail, but I just want to let you know what I'm going to be comparing. So before we get to any pros and cons of either one, I'm just going to do a brief description of both. And you'll figure it out as I'm doing my descriptions. You'll start to see, you know, the pros and cons will start to emerge as the differences get described. So first, let's go with the Stanley. The Stanley cook pot is stainless steel. It has, as you can see here, the graduated markers on the side, which helps you if you're doing any type of recipe outside. It'll take you up to 20 ounces or 591 milliliters. It goes up to 20 ounces, but as you can see, it'll hold probably about 24. The lid, of course, is vented, and it's got these little, I just like to call them sieves because I use them. I have a specific purpose for them. Like I said, when I go into the pros and cons, I'll explain that. This is just the overall description. It also comes with these two tumblers. They're about 8 ounces, and as you can see, they're very durable. So that is the Stanley. Let's see, anything else? The size, the Stanley is about 5 3/4 inches tall, and it's just shy of 4 inches, 3.7 inches wide. That matters, especially if you're backpacking. You want to know what size it is before you buy one, how you're gonna, get it in a backpack. But most people, they're just gonna go ahead and go for it because, like I said, these are pretty much standard almost everywhere. But that'll give you an idea of it. I will describe it too with a slight modification. Most people, when they modify theirs, they will buy one of these steel cups from Walmart. So I'll go ahead and add that to the dimensions. So with the steel cup nested in it, going in your backpack, that's about 4 inches wide, and it really has no perceptible effect on the height. So, and we'll get to this later. So now let's go over to the BeGrit. The BeGrit also has a vented lid. It does not come with any cups. However, it comes with 2 cups. The BeGrit is about 30 ounces on the big one and 23 ounces on the small cup, which of course you saw nest the big one. And it also comes with a folding spork, which can come in handy when if you're making oatmeal or ramen noodles or whatever in these. And it's fairly steady. It is what it is, but it is usable, so it's always good to have. So that's all that comes with that. It's about 4.2 inches wide. It's about 5.2 inches tall. The small is about 3.7 inches wide. Now, when you put it all together, total, you're looking at 5.3 inches wide. The height, again, isn't really affected that much. It's still about 5.2 inches tall. So let's get into some of the pros and cons. We'll start with the pros of the Stanley. The pros of the Stanley is that it's very compact, and it includes these very durable, these things are thick. These things are thick, so you can pour molten lava in there and you're not going to feel it on your hands. So, if you're out and you're boiling coffee or boiling tea, and you put it in one of these cups, man, it's going to be perfect. It's not going to, you're not going to have to try to, you don't need a handle with them. Again, the Stanley is time tested. This thing has been around forever. There's a lot of tenderfoots out there and Eagle Scouts that have used this for decades. So, great piece of equipment. You know it's going to work. You know you can trust it because it's just been used for so long by so many people. One of the other pros is that right there. The fact that the lid locks in place. If you don't have the cup, then anything you keep inside this is going to stay inside your backpack. I like that. And the other thing about the Stanley is that it's easily modified, and I'll show you some of the modifications that I use for it. Number one, I get rid of these. These just stay home. I don't use them. I think I used to keep one in it, but since I modified it with one of these cups, I don't need either one of these. So those go away, and now we have this nesting inside. So the steel cup, it will also hold a 3.5 ounce. Let's see if I can get that in there. 3.5 ounce or 100 gram isobutane gas can. These are great with the camp stoves, and that's usually how you're going to cook things on one of these. If you're out on a trail or in a backcountry area that does not allow you to build fires, but they do allow you to use the camp stoves, it's perfect, and that's usually why I carry it. I usually go in a backcountry area that doesn't allow campfires. And then usually during this dry season, we're in a drought now, I don't want to start a fire. I just want to go ahead and make my coffee or ramen or whatever, and that's perfect for it. And again, the vented lids, these also serve as a filter. I use them like if I'm making dandelion tea or any other type of, if I'm out and I'm making any other type of herbal tea, makes it really super easy to pour. Whoops. He says as he stumbles, keeps the dandelion leaves and the flowers or the red clover, white clover, or whatever I got going on in there. It keeps it in there and filters that out. So that is the pros to the Stanley. Now let's look at the cons. All right, the cons. The number one weakness of this is the cost. You can get these on Amazon. It's late August 2024. These are on Amazon. Just your standard cook set, 25 bucks. Yeah, it's a little pricey. But again, look at what you're getting. You know this thing's gonna last you. So, buy once, cry once, as they say. But these are great. As you can see, I have one. Now, if you add the cup modification, these, at least the last time I got these, they were around $5 and some change. So you're looking at a total of around 30 bucks, 30 plus, for the whole cook set. So that's one definite weakness. The next one would be, there's no way to hang this over a fire. Well, not as it comes. You can modify it somehow. I've not worked on a way because, like I said, I usually use the camp stove and the gas. But if I can find a way to somehow hang this over a fire, I will, and I'll go into that when I get into the grit. Because I found a way to modify it. Now, it will also apply to this cup. So, anyway, these are also kind of narrow at the end. I know the new ones, they're wider on the bottom, so this may not be an issue if you get one of the newer ones that are a little wider at the bottom. And there'll be another issue coming up regarding that, but regarding the width of the bottom. With the standard, with the Jet Boy, and this one's just one of the Chinese knockoffs. It's just too narrow to hold on to it, so it can be a little unsteady. This one, it fits on fairly decent, but again, it makes me a little nervous when using this. On one of the camp stoves. I think it'll fit fine on this one, but we'll get it. I haven't used that one on there yet. So that's the narrow bottom on a Jet Boy or one of these type of camp stoves are it can be a little wobbly. So this, like I said, it fits okay on this one, and eventually I'll go into the camp stoves. Right now we're just going to talk about the cook sets. With the cup, it's going to be the same with the other one. They might fall away. If you got it, if you're let's say you're packing, but you're not fully packed in your backpack. Usually if I'm going out for a day or two. So, I have plenty in there to where this isn't going anywhere once I load it in. But if I'm just going out for a night or whatever, and I just want to fish and have a chance for a cup of tea or whatever, and I take it all with me and some ramen noodles or whatever, and it's eventually going to slide off in the backpack. So that can be an issue, but you can live with it. I can live with it. Also, because of the width, the gas canister will sometimes get stuck in the bottom. I don't think it's due just because of the size. It's because it creates a vacuum and it makes it really hard. So when I pack this in, I'm usually throwing something in the bottom that will keep it up a little bit and keep it from sealing like that. So I can drop that in there, and it's going to be up high enough to where I'm near to where I've got some air gap there, and then I can just, that just pops right out. And that was coffee and some spare ramen bouillon, by the way. And also the lid fits your cup, so if you're needing to sift something out of your cup, then you got that also. This will also fit your camp cup. All right, so that is the Stanley cook pot. And now let's move on to the BeGrit cook set. And this is what it comes with. And the pros. Again, it's compact, small, fits perfect, and this of course goes inside. This would be another pro. It comes with this. And the biggest pro right now, as of August 2024, on Amazon, you can get this cook set for $16 and some change. So definitely a hell of a deal. And with what it comes with is great. It doesn't need as many so-called modifications as the Stanley did. Let me set this completely out of the side. So it comes with 2 cups, as you can see, and these are hold a lot of volume, a lot more volume. This right here alone holds as much as this, pretty much. So that's a hell of a deal. And then you've got this one. So you got the high value with both cups and the spork. The other high value part of this is that this is perfect for 2 people. So, I don't have to bring anything else. Now, granted, this is good enough for 2 people, but you get one big, one little. This one, you got really 2 bigs in comparison. Again, the modifications are very little if needed. The only modification I've got is this, to hang it over a fire if I needed to. So, and I can do that on both of these. Just right now, I just tied it off with a little overhand knot, not a big deal. But if I wanted to make it a little more, but that'll hold it. And I've actually, filled this up with water and hung it over the sink, hung it onto the faucet, and just let it hang there to see how long it would last. And I would hit it just to see if it would tip, and it held up pretty good. So, you can always just take this off and just pack it in with everything else when you're carrying it. So, in fact, I'm going to burn the ends on this and toss it in there, and I'll probably make another one just for the cup on the Stanley set and keep it in there. So, let's see. And of course, it fits on top of any camp stove, so that's a plus. I don't have to worry about anything being a little unsteady or unstable. Same lid, and like I said, very little modification required on this. Because it's so wide, so much more wider, it easily holds. I can just get this completely straight to the bottom. You can see I got plenty of room. This is rocking around in there. And I forgot to mention that it comes with a bag. So it does have a bag that you carry it in. This could be a pro or a con, because how it fits in the bag It's fine. Set it in sideways, and that'll keep your lid from coming off. Get it going here. Oh, there we go. So you have it like that. It's not going to come off. So that's definitely a plus. So you don't even have to worry about, even if you're traveling super light and don't have anything else in, this is all going to stay together. So that's a plus. But let's go ahead and get to the cons. And since I was talking about the bag, what if I lose the bag? What if the bag gets ripped? What if I'm out and I set this thing down, a good gust of wind comes and blows it off a cliff? Well, so much for that. Or it gets ripped. Now I'm back to everything just coming apart. So, not a big deal. If I lose the bag, that just gives me a good reason to buy a bottle of Crown Royal, right? Because then I can just reuse that, retool that, and go with it. Like the Stanley, it doesn't come ready to hang over fire, but as I showed you, I can modify and get both of these to hang over a fire if I needed to. But for the most part, that's not how I'm going to use it. Again, it all holds pretty much the same stuff. This is a little bit of a bigger camp stove. I'll talk about that later on a different day. And the only thing I don't have in here is any coffee or tea, which I usually carry in. I'll put a little bit of that in each one. This is what I had this stuff ready because I was going to go out not too long ago, and I ended up not going. I think it just started storming, so it kept me in. I had it all set up and ready to go. So here's how you can see how I keep everything kind of packed in there. I can also keep some tea bags in there. A little bit of bouillon cubes, just anything. Make a quick soup or stew out of some of the stuff I find. Dandelions, wild onions, whatever. But there it is in a nutshell. Everything ready to go. Except for you. And the Stanley and the BeGrit cook set. If you have any questions or comments or any modifications that you can think of or that you've done, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences with either one. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye now.